Hello, everybody, and welcome to the beginning of the semester. I was really hopeful that we'd all be able to meet in person today, but happy to be still staying safe. Hope everybody is gearing up and happy to see all the students back on campus soon. So I want to thank you once again for everything you've done. So the goal of this presentation, and I'd like to start to make this be a presentation that we do every year, will be really to focus on the finances of Bethany College and some of our strategic priorities for the year. So our priorities for this year will revolve around strategic leadership, growing our financial stability, raising visibility and resources, and strengthening our overall effectiveness. On the strategic leadership piece of this, we really are going to be focusing on the strategic plan that we will start as a community with our all-campus day on August 17th. I've also added a piece about pursuing social justice initiatives on campus so that we are always keeping that in mind, that we want to ensure that we are always looking for ways that we can ensure that everyone on campus feels welcome and has an opportunity to succeed and find the path to their purpose. The bulk of this presentation, however, will be on growing our financial stability. So the first thing I'd like to share with you are our budget numbers. As you can see from FY21, that's still our EG2 number. We are now projecting a positive budget for last year. The audited financials will be available to us by December, and so we'll report on those actual numbers. But we are expecting a positive budget this year, and we're projecting a positive budget for FY22 as well. The next aspect that I'd like to start adding to our project is the Bethany Trust. So we have assets inside and outside of our Bethany Trust that we hold at Bethany College. The ones that are held outside, meaning we don't have any control over the corpus of those funds, is about $2.7 million. And so each year to Bethany College, we receive about $150,000 throughout the year, and those funds have typically gone into our general fund. The trust balances, and this is something very good I'd like to report to you each year, is our financial stability with regard to how much is in the trust. As you can see, 2 years ago, we had about $3.9 million in the trust. As of June 30th, we had $5.7 million, which is a 45% increase. Those increases are based both on the financial gains now that we have gone with creative planning instead of the common fund, but also a deliberate attempt on our part to put funds back into the trust. So we're very pleased with this. As you can see, we have 2 bank accounts, one at People's and one at Creative Planning. Those 2 will stay the same. Whether one is up or down really is not important. The People's Bank is really just for us to get the cash in to be able to transfer it to creative planning as we go. We also have started a deliberate path of trying to get foundations and grants to fund some of our projects. So longtime funders, the Roebuck Foundation is at $42,000 for the organ in the chapel. We did receive a Kansas Leadership Center grant for folks to start to look at developing people on campus for leadership positions. The Maybe, which was a match, was $1 million, and the Sunderland Foundation, we received $1 million. This year is the most by far we've ever received from those 2 foundations, but they are traditional funders of capital projects to Bethany College. The Osher Foundation, we did apply to them again. We received $25,000 for our annual scholarship fund. That's another grantor that we're hoping to pursue year over year. The Smoky Valley Community Foundation did come in with a $2,995 grant to the Maybe match. The Earl Bain Foundation, once again this year, has donated $150,000 towards our Good Life scholarships. Minjin Back gave us $25,000 for the Maybe match, and the Jocelyn Foundation gave us $10,000 for the Maybe match. Just one thing on all these grants, these are grants only through June 30th. We have actually had other grants that have come in since that time that I'll report on later. Some other important numbers. Another number that's very important that we haven't talked a lot about has been our net student revenue. You can see from FY18 up to FY20 that net student revenue has gone up while the net student expenses have gone down. The piece of that net student revenue that's so important is that when we have that, what we're able to do is do more programming for our students And I think that's very important. Also, as our expenses go down, we're really trying to obtain those expense savings through efficiencies and not cut programming, which is something that we have not done. Then other good news on our debt. So we do owe money to the People's Bank line of credit. As you can see, that was lower year over year. It would be my expectation for the next couple of years that that number would stay steady. But the big news is that the USDA balance is down by another almost $500,000. So that's very important. In addition to this, last year we actually also owed money to both the USDA debt service, the amount of money we have to keep in a bank account in order to have the USDA debt, and a furniture loan that we were calling it. So those two debts were paid off. So we paid off nearly $1 million in debt over this last year. So that's very good. Some of our goals, we want to ensure operating budgets contain the resources that we need to meet our mission. Also, it's going to be a goal to increase the balance in the trust that we have control over, by about 7.5% in FY22. That's a conservative, but still, I think, doable goal. And we want to create a methodical process for the improvement of our physical plant. We will be doing a campus master plan. I've been very pleased with the work on social science, Warner and Gregory going into next year. But we want to make sure that what we're doing with a plan in mind for why we're fixing up those buildings. Our financial stability will also be gotten from our enrollment numbers. As you can see, our first-time full-time freshman retention number has been up. We are going to have a freshman class and an overall class enrollment that is one that we predicted in the spring, so our budgets should look okay. Those are the kinds of things that we're going to be looking to do towards the future. We would like to increase the overall student population to about 775 students. When the Gregory Hall is finally back online, it will be the case that we do have about 710 beds, and so the 775 students will be totally doable by that point. And we do want to continue our retention efforts to get that retention number up to maybe even 60%. And we're trying to do that with a project called Day One this year, ensuring that students really do understand what their bill is before they get to campus. And we're thinking that that will help us in our retention efforts. And obviously, we're also going to look to increase our net student revenue. Our annual fund goal will be $1.8 million this year, which will be a stretch for us. As part of the raising visibility and resources, one of the ways that we'll be able to recruit and retain more students is to have a marketing campaign for Path to Your Purpose. The purpose of the program is to develop students who feel that they're responsible for making valuable contributions in the world by working together to serve one another and building character, deepening relationships, improving the quality of life, and bringing meaning to life. The Path to Your Purpose initiative will measure its success by the quality of the work that its graduates achieve. And then finally, strengthening our organizational effectiveness. I have been working with the board and the trust to continue to develop a quality board of men and women who are committed to higher education and to Bethany College. It's also been a personal goal of mine to improve faculty and staff retention. We've done that through working on improving salaries. We worked on having professional development opportunities for faculty and staff, and looking at ways that we can develop and advance faculty and staff on campus. This year, in case you're looking for an opportunity to serve, we will have the Strategic Planning Committee. There will be a number of committees that you can potentially join. If you're looking at this video after we've had our early meeting on the 17th, you probably have more information about that. If not, wait for that meeting. We will continue with the facilities planning group. The reason for that at this point is we don't have the master plan in place, and it is still taking all of us to know exactly what it is we need with regard to our facilities on campus. And the Budget Advisory Committee, which to me really is one of the hallmarks for Bethany of a shared governance system, so that we ensure that folks on campus know exactly what the budget is from month to month, and we don't have any surprises. And we can also get input from people about what we're spending our money on and where. So this would normally be the point in the presentation where I would ask for questions. What I would ask you to do is email me. If you do have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Also, if you don't feel comfortable getting the questions directly to me, if there is somebody on campus that you feel comfortable with, either in Faculty Senate or Staff Senate, I'd be happy to answer those questions as well. So thank you very much for listening.